Hello, my name is Imme Scholz. I'm the Deputy Director of the German Development Institute. Welcome to this coffee talk. Today I want to talk to you to the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. So, what are the SDGs? At the end of September, the United Nations adopted the 2030 Agenda for Global Sustainable Development, and the core of this agenda are the SDGs. They were negotiated by 70 governments during a year and a half, more or less, and they really represent a common view of all member states of the United Nations on the meaning of sustainable development for all countries of the world. So what's different with the SDGs compared to the MDGs, the Millenium Development Goals? The main difference is that the MDGs were development objectives for the South, while the SDGs are a universal agenda for all member states of the United Nations. So universality is the main difference. The second difference is the scope. The MDGs had a strong orientation towards poverty reduction and health and education, while the SDGs cover 17 different policy fields. So they are much more similar to a whole government program. The third difference is a conceptual one. The MDGs refer to poverty reduction and different dimensions of that. The SDGs refer to improving human well-being, human prosperity within the limits of the Earth's ecosystem. So they take up again the road from the Rio conference in '92. They say sustainable development, this is about people, it's about planet, it's about partnership. So how will the SDGs be implemented? This is mainly a responsibility of national governments. National sovereignty is a term you find very often in the 2030 agenda. That means national governments have to develop a strategy for implementing that. Many developing countries do that in their national development plans. Germany will use the national sustainability strategy as a framework for implementation. Okay, so continuing with implementation. We have published a discussion paper where we discuss each goal of the 17. We discuss the goal as such, the targets, and the indicators for measuring progress. Because if you want to compare how countries are moving forward in implementation, you need to have indicators to see how far they have gone and to compare countries with each other. The strategies and goals defined by governments to contribute to implementation of the 2030 agenda will look very different depending on their level of development, on the capacities and resources they have. This reminds me of Goal 10, which is a real innovation by the 2030 agenda. It says, reduce inequalities within countries and between countries. So international cooperation will play an important role for enabling countries to contribute to implementation. So what's the role of development cooperation for implementing the 2030 agenda? Development cooperation is very important for supporting poorer countries and enabling them to give their contribution. But the whole agenda moves from the North-South paradigm to a universal paradigm of cooperation. That means that development cooperation has to go through a conceptual renewal, a review of its instruments and its objectives in order to cooperate. This will be the main challenge for the policy field in the next years.